A feud broke out over the past few days between Marjorie Greene and not a leftist, actually, not even just a regular Democrat, targeting another member of the looniest of the loony right-wingers, Laura Loomer. Okay, and this all came about as a result of a report that indicated that Donald Trump was considering bringing on Laura Loomer to serve on his campaign. Now, if you're not familiar with Laura Loomer, I'm jealous of you. But she's famous for being about as rabidly Islamophobic as anyone has ever been on the face of earth, and engaging in some absolutely ridiculous stunts that invariably make her look ridiculous, but don't seem to actually contribute to her going away, including protests outside of Twitter and running for Congress and all of that stuff. Well, Greene, not a fan of her. So finally, Greene and I have something in common. She tweeted, Laura Loomer is mentally unstable and a documented liar. Some stones being thrown at glass houses. She cannot be trusted. She spent months lying about me and attacking me just because I supported Kevin McCarthy for speaker. And after I'd refused to endorse her last election cycle, she loves the alleged FBI informant and weirdo Nick Fuentes. Shots fired. She tried to get hired on the Yay campaign after the infamous Mar-a-Lago dinner, but Kanye West refused to hire her, so now she's running to Trump. Never hire or do business with a liar. Liars are toxic and poisonous to everything they touch. I'll make sure he knows. And we'll get to Laura Loomer's response in a second there. But I love that she's like, she likes that weirdo Nick Fuentes, who I went to his event to speak at. Like, had no problem with him whatsoever. What do you think, Francesca?
I mean, let them fight, of course. It's also just sort of refreshing to know that, the far right has the same sort of little spats as some of we leftists do, us leftists. So, that's sort of like, oh man, see, they can't get it together either. That's cute.
Yeah.
But it's also just like, she's talking to Trump, I'll make sure he knows. It's basically just a tweet to Trump to tell him to not hire her. But Trump's running out of crazies. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, find him another crazy he hasn't burned through, or he hasn't gotten, accidentally or, deliberately locked up, or for many different reasons, whether it's a Capitol rioter or whether it's Michael Cohen or whomever, like there's not a lot of people left for him to burn through. So if there's other options, I don't know. I'm sure he's all ears, but yeah, it's just what's it with her and brunettes? You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
It's a match not made in heaven. Yes, Boebert's off the hook, I guess, for a little bit. She's got her other troubles. Here is Laura Loomer's response to Marjorie Greene saying, "The only liar is you. You hired the foreign national, set up the dinner at Mar-a-Lago, and you spoke at AF America First PAC, where you were more than happy to embrace Fuentes. Ye asked me to work on his campaign, and I said no, because I told him I endorsed Donald Trump, but I support his right to free speech. You are a liar. And it goes on for there." Calling each other liars. I don't particularly care. So 2 points that I want to make out of this. One, I'm getting vibes of, you remember that like awesome moment in Skyfall where the villain is describing how they ridded an island of rats, where they just put rats in a thing where they starved until they started eating other rats, and finally there was only one left, and they just released that because it now had a taste for rat blood.
Yes, Javier Bardem, right?
Yeah, Javier Bardem. I'm not saying why this makes me think of that. It just does. But the other one is both of them are saying like, you caused that disastrous dinner, and then the other one's like, no, you caused that disastrous dinner. How about some culpability for the guy at the disastrous dinner? Why is Trump not responsible for anything that he does? He was the one who constantly was surrounding himself with Kanye West, but no, they're the only ones who are responsible for it. Trump, of course, couldn't have made a mistake.
They're little mignonettes of the patriarchy. It's very adorable, and it's true. This is why feminism is important, y'all. Female solidarity, even if it is for a terrible cause. But that's why they like this. They can't work together. Look, you got the squad, on the progressive side over in Congress, and then you just have like, squabbling little Smurfettes over here.
Yeah, and look, it's a great point that you bring up the comparison. I generally hate when those two groups are compared, but the reason that like members of the like squad or the extended squad can work together is because they're working towards something. The reason these things fall apart is because it's grift. They're not interested in lifting each other up. They're interested in being the one who wins. Thank God that's not how most of the very few progressives we have in Congress actually act. Now, apparently in this particular case, the rat who got the last bite is gonna be Marjorie Greene, because apparently a campaign spokesman said Trump is not gonna be hiring Loomer, which could mean that this fight reflected poorly on Loomer. It could be that Marjorie Greene advised him not to hire her. It could just be that the initial reporting wasn't accurate anyway. Who knows? Or it could be that in a week he hires Loomer anyway because it doesn't mean anything when he says anything because he's a massive liar. But as of right now, at least, it appears that Trump has chosen Greene over Loomer.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.